No people living with HIV and AIDS are to be discriminated. Instead, they should be given opportunities to receive more accessible and affordable treatment and medication. This is just one of the welcoming provisions of the Philippine HIV and AIDS Policy Act. Meanwhile, the implementing rules and regulations for the new law are already signed by the Department of Health and good to go, that PTV correspondent Kenneth Paciente takes on in this report.
It was in 2015 when Marlon was diagnosed with human immunodeficiency virus or HIV. It was never easy for him, especially that his family and friends renounced him.
Ang sakit kasi sila yung mga taong pwede kong takbuhan. Sila yung pwede yung pagsabihan ng problema ko, pero sila po yung taong lumayo.
Marlon is just one of the 1,000 Filipinos who are constantly fighting with the disease. But in this fight, he's with the government. In fact, the Department of Health and other concerned agencies already crafted and inked the implementing rules and regulation of Republic Act 11166 or the Philippine HIV and AIDS Policy Act. This will focus on the welfare of people living with HIV to make sure they are not ostracized or discriminated against in their communities. The law also guarantees their inclusion and acceptance in the workplace despite their HIV status.
Laboratory science has reduced HIV from being a death sentence that it used to be known to a manageable chronic condition. And the law now calls on all of us to perfect the science of delivering these technologies. After all, this is meant to benefit all Filipinos.
Also, minors aged 15 to 17 can now undergo testing even without the consent of their guardians or parents. The Philippine National AIDS Council is tasked as the overall in charge in implementing the AIDS medium-term plan.
90% of all people living with HIV will know their status. 90% of all people living with HIV will receiving their therapy, the antiretrovirals. 90% receiving ART will be virally suppressed.
The DOH, on the other hand, should formulate programs for accessible treatment and medication for those stricken with HIV and AIDS. While the Department of Social Welfare and Development has designated for care and support programs for people with HIV like counseling, social protection, welfare assistance, among others. The DOH also said that they are aiming to reduce, if not stop, the mounting cases of the disease through this law. Kenneth Paciente for The Nation.
Beyond the headlines,
It's news with a different perspective.
before the day ends,
For events that shape our views and impacts the world around us.
we keep you up to speed.
With Richmond Cruz and Charms Espina. PTV News Headlines, your comprehensive nightly news source, only here